Hey guys! Okay, well, I wanted to take a minute to give a testimonial for Rina yoga teacher training. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because if there's anybody out there still doubting or thinking on whether they take the training or not, I would like to give that little push that they need because this is a truly the best decision they can ever make. Um, in my own personal experience, Rina yoga training was more than just a training to teach, and I'm saying this because I have been sharing with other yoga teachers that are coming from other trainings, and I'm just amazed how different it was their experience compared to mine. The majority of the trainings, they just give you the basics of the poses, of the asanas, breathing techniques, but Rina yoga training is different. It's completely different. Rina is so extensive, okay, that it's more like a lifestyle and it's more like a path, okay. You leave or you finish the training ready, okay. You finish ready not only to teach, to be a good teacher, but also to live different, okay. And I had to write down some of the points why, my experience, it was so wonderful with Rina, because if I start talking about everything, I'm going to be here all day, and that's not the idea. But I wrote some points, okay? And the first one is she creates awareness and conscious. And let me rephrase that. She doesn't create, she teaches you, or she guides you on how to become aware and conscious of yourself. So, this is something that you might see everywhere, like, oh, be awareness and conscious, but I truly experienced this with Rina, okay? And this is just in the first week of classes. Me and the people that were with me, the other trainees, we were all talking about it, like, oh my god, I feel so different, because when you become to be more aware and when you become to be more conscious, you start seeing everything different, because now you are aware of your thoughts, now you're aware of your words, of your acts, and everything that you think, that you say, that you do impact your life and everybody else's life around you. It has consequences, so you're more careful, and you notice if you lie, if you were positive, if you were negative thinking, if you have a good posture, if you're so it's so many things that right now it can sound overwhelming, but it's not. It's just awareness, it's just conscious. So this created an impact in my life for better, for positive, because you're more careful, okay. And so that was wonderful, and I started experiencing that from the first week, and Rina does it intentionally, okay, from the beginning of the training. Number two, I became more healthy. Everything just healthier, okay, and just little by little you start getting rid of some bad habits and replacing them into new habits, or improving your some of your actual habits. So you start either improving or changing or replacing, but it's just a transformation, okay. It's not the same way that you were living before, okay. Absolutely no. Everybody in the training had different ways and different patterns and different habits, from the smallest thing to other biggest one. But you do make changes, okay. It's a transformation, okay. The way that you live, your habits, the way that you think, it's like a process, and it start happening from day one, okay. And this process and this transformation is obviously for better, okay. It's all for better. And number three, and I think this is really important, Rina take this very seriously, like very seriously, okay? And you're gonna notice if you start your training that Rina emphasized so much, like so much from day one, that you have to be a safe teacher, okay? And that you have to be safe on your own practice as well. And this is great because nobody really teaches you that, okay? And she takes it really seriously. She makes you understand the responsibility and that awareness that you need to have when you're observing a student or you are observing your own practice, to be safe, to be safe, to avoid injuries, to avoid an accident, to avoid being aware, being conscious, so you can be safe and you can create a safe practice for yourself and your students. Another one is that Rina, even though she's so serious, because she's not serious, but she takes it very seriously, the training, and she's very strict, and she's very challenging, and she's very disciplined, which is amazing because you learn a discipline, and yoga is discipline. Getting on your mat, all the things, this is discipline. Learning new ways. So if you were not disciplined or not very responsible before the training, you will. You will finish the training being very disciplined, and this is just a fresh start to begin that discipline journey. And with her, it just makes it, in the beginning, maybe it's a little bit challenging, and then, it's just so smoothly, and you get used to that. You get into you immerse yourself into that discipline, and then practically you can live without yoga. But anyways, even though she is so disciplined and so strict, she's extremely fun and she's very creative. So we were amazed, and we, like all the trainees, we were amazed how creative she is. So every class she surprises you, and you have no idea what's gonna happen, and she has some surprises, okay? And it's a way of learning in a very creative way, okay? And you're gonna love it, okay? We just love every time we had a surprise with Rina, and it was, sometimes it was challenges, sometimes it was just fun time, but it's a learning in a very creative way, and we cannot tell you what those surprises are because that's the whole point. But it's amazing. You won't see that anywhere else. Also, the material. Rina is so detailed. It's amazing. Everything, she has our manual, which is like my Bible, and I take it everywhere I go, and if I move, it goes with me, and I protect my manual, and it goes with me everywhere. I love it. It's step by step. It's very detail oriented, and it's so extensive but so brief at the same time. She makes it very, she filters, she narrates, so it goes to the point, but it's very detailed, and you have information of everything, okay? In the material, in the course, you learn about everything. You learn about anatomy, you actually have a professional, a doctor explaining you have, mantras, you have meditations, you have chakras, you have everything. And it's not just the poses, the asanas, it's everything, it's a complement. Also, and this is very, very, very important, okay? I left it to the last one just because it's the last part of the training, but for me it was amazing, and you definitely don't see this anywhere else. Rina makes you, if you're gonna be a teacher, if you're taking this as a personal growth, you don't have to, but if you're planning on becoming a teacher, then it's mandatory that you have to teach for 3 months once a week, which means 12 weeks teaching, okay, in her studio. And these are community classes. So all the students that are coming to your class, they know that you just graduated and that you're practicing. So they don't come here with expectations, okay? They come here very humble, okay? They know that you're just practicing. They give a donation if they want to give a donation, and they fill out a survey at the end of the class, which is great because it helps you, okay? It actually helped me. They give their feedback, and they give, positive, negative, whatever it is, but it definitely is something that makes you improve and be a better teacher and see, what they've experienced in your practice. So you don't have this in any other training. You basically, in the other trainings, you finish and that's it. Here is your certificate. Bye-bye. And then you have to go on your own, and you have to find a job as a teacher where you have never taught before. And not only that, but the first time teacher is horrifying, I mean, it's really scary. It is. And teaching is not that easy, it's very challenged. So, Rina gave me that opportunity, to go and to practice for a whole 3 months. And when I finished, I felt confident, and I felt strong, and I felt ready for it. And since then, I have been teaching yoga. But, you have her support. You have 3 months teaching. You have 3 months practicing in her studio. And when you finish those 3 months, Rina is there for you, okay? Not just her, but the community, okay? It's a beautiful community. All the previous trainees, the trainees that were with you, Heidi, Rina, I mean, everybody there, they embrace you, they help you, they support you. And Rina created opportunities for me. I taught in her studio different, in the 3 studios that she has. And, I feel like she has been just my support since day one. Always my support, my support, my support. And I just moved to another state, and that's why I'm in another studio now. But I am immensely grateful to Rina. She's an amazing soul, beautiful soul. She's funny, she's full of life. She's very strict, but that's what helped me to learn so much, because she immersed everybody into it so much, and make them understand this is serious, this is a huge responsibility if you're going to be teaching, that it makes you feel confident, that you're coming from a training like this, that you have a solid foundation with someone like her. So I truly, truly, truly recommend Rina. It's the best training in Miami and anywhere else. But I mean, if you're in Miami and you're thinking of, getting into it, do it. It's gonna be the best experience. Okay, thank you guys. Namaste.